Hi folks, Greeno here. Where am I today? Well, I'm somewhere that's wet and cold, and having lived not too far away from here for quite a number of years in the past, I'm not surprised. I'm in Cardiff. It's always raining in Cardiff, isn't it? Well, why am I here? Behind me just there is a restaurant called Asador 44, and it seems to be a restaurant underneath a hotel called the Parador 44. Now this is a Spanish grill house. I don't think we've done any Spanish food on the channel. I'm not even sure how Spanish it's going to be in there, but they claim to be a Spanish grill house, and we're going to give them a try. Now this place is supposed to be really, really good. It's in the Michelin guide. Where I am is right bang smack in the middle of Cardiff. So if I was to come back this way a little bit and spin you round, just across the street from the restaurant is the Principality Stadium, or the Millennium Stadium as it used to be called, and the City Arms, a very, very famous pub, almost next door. So the location is very, very central. How's the food going to be though? Let's get inside out of this cold, wet weather and find out. Right then guys, so I have come in and sat down. I've got to say I like the vibe of this place. It's not crazy busy. I'm here on a Monday lunchtime, but there's enough people around, you know. There's probably about 30% of the tables filled at this point. I like this thing I've got right behind me here, this kind of like old-fashioned Spanish wooden door. I think that's pretty cool. Been seated by a very, very friendly server who's brought me over some tap water for the table already. First thing they did, very, very good. And I have got all kinds of menus here. So this is a kind of drink and cocktails menu. There is a set menu, which I'll show you on screen because that's what I'm going to order from today. I'm here at lunchtime. They have a Monday to Friday lunch set menu, which seems pretty reasonable. There's some wine and drink specials there and some food specials on the back of that one. And the main a la carte menu. So lots and lots of stuff to choose from. So let's have a little look at this first menu, the lunchtime special kind of set menu. 2 courses £30, 3 courses £35. Sounds pretty reasonable to me. We have got, well, there's a wild mushroom starter. I think we'll give that a miss. But there is a grilled mackerel with ajo blanco, which I guess is some kind of white Spanish sauce, and some sea herbs. You know me, I love mackerel. I think I'm going to go for that. Mains, there's a grilled celeriac option, but again that's with mushroom. A fish of the day, which I'm advised is like a seafood rice with squid ink in it, so kind of like a black coloured paella. That sounds really interesting to me. You can get a slow cooked beef rib cap or a rump steak, but I think the fish dish sounds great. If we have mackerel to start, why not continue the fishy theme through the meal? Desserts, white chocolate mousse, rhubarb compote and charcoal meringue. Sounds good to me. There is a cheese of the day, there are petit four, but yeah, I love rhubarb. Anything to do with rhubarb. Rhubarb and white chocolate I think could be quite an interesting combination. The very, very sweet nature of white chocolate and the very kind of sour nature of rhubarb. Should be a really good contrast, that. So yeah, I am looking forward to this. Almost a disaster there. Starter came over to the table. It was the wrong one. Then put the mushroom one on there for me. I definitely did not order mushrooms, did I, folks? So, but very, very politely sorted out. They're knocking at the mackerel one for me now. No problem at all. Okay then, guys. The correct starter has now arrived. No mushrooms anywhere that I can see on there, which is good news, isn't it? We've got this nice piece of mackerel. I'll overlay a couple of shots over the top of this now so you can see a bit closer. Beautifully torched up skin on there. Looks really, really appealing, and it's got that beautiful kind of barbecued mackerel smell to it. We have a white sauce, some sea herbs, and what looks like some little slices of grape on there. But like I say, just a little starter plate. I mean, it's almost a mousse-bouche kind of levels, isn't it? But it smells great. So I'm going to try a little bit of this sidey kind of stuff first, the little grape and the herb. Beautifully fresh. The sauce. It's quite a mild flavoured sauce. A little bit of olive oil on it. It's almost creamy yet a little bit nutty. The mackerel itself. Now, this has got a lovely crispness on the skin there. And I'll bring it in a little bit closer so you can see. Look at that. Beautifully cooked flesh on there. Again, some char marking on the underneath too. God, that aroma, you can really pick up that sort of charcoaly element to it. It's so soft. That skin has a lovely crisp to it though, which adds textural element as much as anything else. Let's get some of this grape on there, some of these herbs, some of the sauce. You know what, that's a really nice combination. Obviously mackerel has a really pronounced, distinct flavour, doesn't it? And especially with those charcoal barbecue elements, adding a little bit more punch. The sauce just brings that right down. Not hiding it, just tempering it a bit. And then you pick a little bit of the grape up, and that gives a nice little fruity, fresh element. So there's a real nice balance of flavours there. It's interesting because the mackerel by itself is stunning. I'm a big lover of mackerel, as you guys know. But I really like the combinations here. Really like the combinations. It's a simple little plate, but cleverly designed. It's interesting here. They have an open kitchen kind of arrangement, but it's kind of done in quite a sympathetic way. It's tucked away in a little corner, so it's not really in your face, but it's kind of interesting. You can see chefs buzzing around a little bit, but you can't see exactly everything they're up to. And I think that's a fair way of doing it. I know some people have a bit of a problem with open kitchens, don't they? That, you know, chefs should be able to get on and do their work without being like in a goldfish bowl. And it's quite nice to sort of, particularly if, you know, if you're interested in the food, to see how they're getting on and how they're doing things. But this is done in quite an unobtrusive kind of way, so yeah, so it's a nice little touch. Right then folks, main course has arrived. Come in and take a closer look at this. Very, very interesting this visually, isn't it? We have, I can't pick that up without burning myself. Yeah, I'm talking to myself, don't worry. I'm just like a mad old man sat in the corner yapping to himself.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, okay. So what we have in here, we have this rice, a risotto, almost a paella kind of thing, with the squid ink in it. It's been cooked first, then put into this hot pan, so that it kind of gets little crispy bits around the side. It's got a very, very pronounced kind of fishy flavour. Oh yeah. But being black, it just looks striking, especially with the sort of pale coloured seafood, and a little cream on there as well. You've got a beautiful jumbo kind of prawn here. We've got some little squid here and some octopus as well. So let's get in and try some of those fishy elements too. Oh, and let's not forget, on the side, look at this tomato salad. That is so pretty. It's covered with some kind of seasoning. I'm not sure what that is yet. Plenty of olive oil on the top. I had a choice with my main course to go with fries with it or the side salad. I made the right choice here. I mean, you don't need rice and chips, do you? Unless you're unless you're getting a late night curry in or something like that. So, where are we going to start with this? Let's go with the octopus, shall we? So have a little look at this. You can see here, you've got the tentacles on there, steaming hot. Again, this will have been barbecued up the same as the mackerel was, over the charcoal. Oh wow. That is beautifully soft. If octopus is overcooked, it can be a bit chewy, can't it? This is not. It's got that beautiful kiss of the smoke on there. God, that's delicious. Really, really happy with that. Look at these little baby squid too. 3 of these in the dish. Oh, a little bit of juice coming out. We'll get that all into the rice. That's all flavour, isn't it? Again, have a little look. The charring on the outside of that. Beautiful. And again, nice and soft and tender. Delicate flavour of the squid. That's so yummy. Another element where you can really pick up that barbecue flavour on there. Lovely. Okay, let's come in for some of this prawn. I always find the prawns are a little bit hard to deal with in their shells when you've got cutlery, but we'll dig a bit out. To be honest, once we get off camera, I'm probably going to pick it up and eat it. But look at this lovely white flesh. So fresh tasting. God, yes, please. Actually, come on. We won't stand on ceremony, will we? Get as much meat as you can out of the shell. Oh, that is absolutely delicious, mate. Really, really good. That's just lovely. Really sweet flesh. All of the seafood elements on here are so tasty. We've got this little white kind of cream on there, which looks a bit like it's got some kind of matcha or something on the top of it. So let's mix a little bit of that into the rice and see what difference that makes to things. Let's try that a bit by itself. Now, the one thing I will say about the rice, it is quite salty. Almost on the verge of being too salty. This cream kind of tempers it down a bit. Got a nice sort of fresh little herby element on the top there. And when you mix it into the rice a little, you know, maybe it doesn't look the best if it turns it into kind of like a grey sludge. But it's really tasty. Let's move over onto this salad. Beautiful, big tomatoes, really thinly sliced. I mean, look at this, wafer thin. And we've got different colours of tomatoes here. We've got one that's got like a purpley hint to it. We've got the pink ones. Yeah, let's just get stuck in. Come on, Greeno. Get a bit of everything. We've got the olive oil. We've got whatever that seasoning is on the top. It's not that easy to get on the fork, but let's go for it. I mean, to me, a plate of tomatoes with some olive oil and just some salt and pepper on the top, that's a flavour of Spain for me right there. This is great. I'm not sure what that seasoning is. Let's see if I can just get a little bit of it by itself. I was going to eat off the knife then. I have been criticised for that so many times. So it's kind of peppery, citrusy. Oh, I like that. And combined with the sweet acidity of those tomatoes, wow, that's really tasty. And it's quite nice actually, because it does kind of cut through kind of, you know, almost the richness of this rice dish. It does work quite nicely as a combination. Happy with that. Right, I'm going to plough on and eat some more of this. I think we're going to have dessert, aren't we? I think so. Right then, folks, dessert is here. And I got to say, this is pretty as a picture. Again, I'll overlay some footage over the top for you now. So we've got this white chocolate mousse here with a rhubarb compote on the top of it. And these really kind of attractive looking shards of meringue. They've got some of the, looks like the squid ink or whatever's been put onto them too. And then it's been sort of torched a little bit just to caramelise things up. It's as pretty as a picture. It really is. So, let's try the meringue first. Meringue can be a touch over sweet for me. We'll see how this goes. Oh, that's not actually. It has got a little, almost savoury note to it. It is sweet, of course. It's a meringue, but yeah, it's not like cloyingly sweet in the mouth. I'll move some of this out of the way now so we can see what's underneath here. So we've got the rhubarb. Let's just try a little bit of that by itself. Very, very finely diced. Lightly cooked, so it's still got a little bit of crunch to it, a little bit of bite. There's sugar in it, but again, not so much that it kind of takes away all of the tartness that you associate with rhubarb. The white chocolate mousse, this is the bit I'm expecting to be sweet. And it is. Oh, but it's really, really creamy. Really creamy. That is lovely. So we're going to try a bit here. We have the mousse. We have the rhubarb. Do you know what it does? The white chocolate mousse there with the rhubarb almost feels like rhubarb and custard. A bit like if you were having a crumble, you know? Rhubarb crumble, custard over the top. It has that kind of flavour combination. I really like that. It's only a small portion. It's quite rich. You wouldn't want more than this. Look at this. It's like a 70s wallpaper, isn't it? I was saying that. I think my nan had a dress that looked a bit like that in the 70s. That's good. It is a very sweet end to the meal. No doubt about that. But it's a nice one. Right then, folks. Here I am outside the Principality Stadium. In fact, my favourite memory ever here was back in, when would it have been, about May 2003? Bournemouth 5, Lincoln City 2 in the playoff final, back when Bournemouth weren't very good. Happy days, happy days. So, Asador 44, or whatever that is in Spanish, presumably. What did I make of that? Do you know what? I really enjoyed my time in there. Was it perfect? No, there were a couple of little things that I wouldn't have minded a little bit differently, but it was really good, really good. The service was lovely. The restaurant, I like the setup of it, I like the design of it, very, very nice. The food, there was a little bit of a mix-up with the starter when I got brought a mushroom dish rather than a mackerel dish I'd ordered, but that was quickly rectified, no issue with that at all. And that mackerel dish with that ajo blanco sauce, a little bit of almond breadcrumb, olive oil, a little bit of garlic, worked really, really nicely with the mackerel and the little bits of herbs and the grapes. The main course, that rice dish with the squid ink in and the seafood on the top. For me, just a touch salty. I actually had a chat with another diner who ordered the same thing and he found the same. So that was, that could have been slightly improved. The prawns, whilst looking good, were a little bit difficult to eat in the dish. So, yeah, again, maybe they could have just used king prawns on there instead of the whole prawn thing, but that's more about presentation than about how it is to eat, I think, in this case. But the octopus and the squid were delicious. And that little tomato side salad, yeah, I could have that every day. The dessert, fabulous, fabulous. That little white chocolate mousse with the rhubarb on top, kind of tasting like rhubarb and custard. Yes, please. Really like that. So, I've got the bill here. The 3-course set lunch is £35. If I hadn't ordered the dessert, it would have been £30 for 2 courses. There is a 12.5% service charge on there. Absolutely no issue with paying that at all. The service, like I say, was top notch. Really, really nice. So I've paid £39.37 overall. I think that's good. I think that's fair. No issue with that at all. I can see, in the main, why the Michelin guys like this. But like I say, just a couple of little things around that main course that could have been better. So, what are we going to score it? I'm thinking about 4.2, 4.3 out of 5. I think that sounds about fair. I really liked it. A couple of things that, for my personal taste, could have been better. But Monday lunchtime, it's busy in there. They know what they're doing. It's good. Big question is, though, does it get Greeno's green light? It does. It does. I can't put it down to an amber light because I really enjoyed it. Would I go back there again? Absolutely I would. I might order a different main dish, but everything else I was really happy with. Yeah, it's good. Green light from Greeno. Okay then folks, so if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help the channel. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, take a little look around the vault, see what else you enjoy, and maybe consider subscribing. Ding your bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Right, where am I off to now while I'm in here in Welsh Wales? I've got something else a little bit special lined up, but you'll have to wait and see what. See you next time.